Welcome to the Legendary Sports Podcast. This is your host GSR. Today we're talking about team building and and a little bit of draft talk. What the Cowboys might do at number 12. Let's get into it. So recently, Brian Schottenheimer sat down and talked to the media, and he was talking about what they want to do with pick number 2 in this upcoming draft. And what he had to say, sitting down with reporters, was we don't ever want to pick 12 again. Alright, let's be honest. We don't want to pick that high. But you're looking for guys to influence the game. How do you influence the game? You rush the quarterback, you get sacks, you get strip sacks, fumbles, whatever it is. You score touchdowns. I feel like going into the draft, we have a lot of confidence. Again, we're not done in free agency. We're looking to acquire. We're always looking to compete on the personnel side, but I do feel like we set ourselves up in the draft where, we're sitting in a certain spot and we'll be able to take the best player available, and let's go take them. That's pretty telling to me. He was talking about his ideals for number 12. Of course, the free agency moves we already discussed. There's some you like, some you don't like. And you can debate all day about the quality of the depth and the talent, but they were active. They did try and fill holes. Whether it was top tier, no. Or if it was middle tier, no. But they did put guys in positions where they won't be completely wiped out like last year as far as depth is concerned. Last year, as we all saw, they were so top heavy that they couldn't do anything. And with Dante Fowler's back, last year he wasn't there. You saw the guys weren't ready to step up. A couple injuries there, boom, you had no pass rush. You couldn't stop the run. That's a continuing theme, not stopping the run. But that's a different pod for a different day. Secondary was depleted with injuries, and you did nothing to replace it. You let Stephon Gilmore walk, and you didn't do anything. You were just caught butt out, and just not even ready, like you didn't prepare, like you didn't see any of this coming. They did not do this year, so you have to give them credit. You don't have to like the moves, but you have to credit the moves that they saw an era of their ways, and they actually tried to do something different. No, they didn't break the bank. No, they didn't go after day one guys. No, they didn't get the guys that we wanted. But they got guys. They got guys, and they got guys that can hopefully help. Hopefully will pan out, because you're going to need them too. But Dante Fowler is a great get. He's not just a guy. He's not Jag. He was a great get. The linebacker from the Bears. Hard work, lunch pail type of guy. He can work out. Just got to give him a chance. Peyton Turner, who knows, maybe catch lightning in a bottle. Solomon Thomas, it's not the Solomon Thomas of 4 years ago, but, he can still add, he can contribute. Maybe if nothing else, maybe he can get through to Mazi and light a fighter under him. And then, hey, we're not sitting around waiting for you. Guys that could actually play, not like the Dontari Poes of the world, and that you got, and Linval Joseph that you brought in so late last year that they spent the whole season trying to get into shape, and then by the time they're in shape, it was too late. So you got guys in the beginning of training camp that will compete. So that is what he's talking about, and I think that should be rewarded. I mean, I think, again, the proof is in the pudding. We'll see how everything goes. You will absolutely see how everything goes. But you have to give credit where credit's due. They're trying to do something different. And don't just automatically root for it to fail. Nothing comes of that. Hope for the best. Be a little optimistic. I'm a heartbroken Cowboys fan too. I understand the need, but let's hope for the best. He's talking about best player available at 12, so you want to take it for his word. Sacks, that sounds sacks. Strip sacks, fumbles, that sounds rush in, and then touchdowns. And then later on he goes into talk about building outside in, which I think is more telling. Like per our last pass, I think they're really going to go after the receiver core, receiving, and try to upgrade their receiving core. And I think that's where they start. Again, if you're going for outside, the outside help build your outside out. You know, you got Tetora McMillan, you got Luther, who I talked about last video. I know they talked about him not watching film, but we'll see. Money changes things. When it's your actual job and that's all, and that's what you have to do in life, that can change. I'm not exactly all that worried about it, as long as he has a love for the game. Tell me if he's late for anything, or if he slacks off in practice, or if he's not dedicated in any other way. We got Luther Burden out of Missouri, my personal favorite. I'm biased because I'm a Missouri guy, yes, but I would love him. He's CeeDee Lamb light. I would love him in the second round. You got Matthew Golden, which I talked about last video. Any of those guys you can get in the second round. Suppose you get again, Genty's not going to be there, but if you take McMillan's gone and you take Luther Burden or Matthew Golden in the second round, I would absolutely love that. Then you got Baca out of Ohio State. There's then after that, you got Higgins out of Iowa State. There's a little bit of a drop off after that. But if you're going seriously trying to build outside, those are the names to watch. Tutu McMillan has been drafted to the Cowboys multiple times in mock drafts. Luther Burden was earlier, but he seemed to fall out of favor. He might be a day 2 steal along with Matthew Golden, depending on how Western League thinks about him. I think they would both be ridiculously good steals. And then, of course, the pie in the sky. I mean, we all want Genty. That's not going to happen. I mean, I would love to be wrong. Maybe I'm the only person in history who doesn't mind being wrong, but I would love to be wrong, but he's not going to be there. He's not going to be there. So we go past him, got Amari Hampton. He's been mocked to the Cowboys multiple times at 12. I don't think 12 was a bit rich for my blood. I don't think the Cowboys would take him at 12. Now, if he's in there in the second round at 44, I think they got him. I think he's your guy. We got the Virginia Tech running back, Tutton. He's already scheduled for a visit. So there's multiple talent out there. When you go to rush, because he did specifically bring up strips and sacks. Abdul Carter, not a way in the world that he's going to be there. He's a top 3 pick. Of course, who would be perfect? I would love him and Micah. Then you book in your pass rush for the next 5 years, maybe more. That would be ridiculous. That'd get you back in the game real quick, but it's not going to happen. He's going to be gone. You got Jalen Walker. Little personal issues off the field, but Cowboys, they can fix that. They work around that. And then you got Mike Green and Marshall. And then Mikael Williams is the big one. He might actually be there at 12. It's just a matter of how much do you like him. There's so much controversy surrounding the kid, how hard he plays. But the same thing with Marshall. I mean, Mike Green out of Marshall. So either one of those guys would be great. But for my personal taste, I would, if you're gonna go rush, I would take Green, and then I'll take a receiver in the second round because McMillan's not gonna be there, but Golden will, and Burton will. So I'd take any of those guys if I had the opportunity to. But back to his comments, best player available. I think they're looking outside. I think they're going to go. I'm hoping same Paris Campbell. They said about his speed. I'm not sure how much they believe in that. That sounds again like coaching free agent speak. Because why would you sign a guy and then trash him immediately? That's just bad business. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they go. Genty and Burden would be my dream scenario. Not likely to happen. I have no problem with McMillan, and maybe get Hampton in the second round. That would be, and then I think that puts your offense right back in the game. Right back in the game. Then you're helping Dak. Dak's at his best when Zeke was Zeke, and Pollard was Pollard. That's when he's at his best. So that's what I'm hoping for. We'll see. We're under a month. Excuse me. We're under a month now to the draft, and it's rolling up us quick. So I think these comments are telling. And the more I don't like the process, but I'm starting to like Brian Schottenheimer. I gotta admit, I didn't like how they went about getting him and making him the coach and him the chosen one. And this small basic search that you did that really wasn't a search. You kind of wanted him and just kind of stalled him out for a while. But I think I hope, like a lot of Cowboys fans, are gonna give him a chance. We'll see what he can do. He says the right stuff, just like Dak. You gotta give him a chance, because if he fails, the Cowboys fail. So there's no point in rooting for him to fail. I'll never understand that amongst some Cowboys fans. So he's our coach. I think he has a presence about him. I'm starting to like more and more hear him talk. I want to see. I want to hopefully get to like the coaching staff, and we'll see. We gotta give him time. Gotta give him time to gel. The worst thing I think that happens is a bad start. Then you start firing coaches, and then got these because these coaches are somehow coming from the college game, and you gotta give them time to succeed. Gotta give people time. But that we'll talk about that code. That's another part for another day. But Coach Schottenheimer, I'm loving what you're saying. Building outside in, especially if it means receiver, because I'm done with Jalen Tolbert and this experiment. Get somebody to help CD so he doesn't see double and triple teams. So you won't have any more comments like just take away CD and they got nothing left. So you get CD, all of a sudden Jason Ferguson turns it back into Jason Ferguson, and you got a run game. It backs him up a little bit. Back him up a little bit. Get the eighth man out the box. Then you let Hampton, and fingers crossed Hampton, and then you let Hampton or Javonte Williams go to work. Because they respect your outside guys. Clearly they respect CD, but they respect the other guy too, and they know that you can go over the top. But so it's all Dak friendly. It's all Dak friendly. All that just makes perfect sense. Too much sense if you ask me. So let's do it, Cowboys. Let's get it. Thank you for watching another pod. This has been the Legendary Sports Podcast. This has been your host, Gabriel. I am your host, GSR. And thank you. And please like and subscribe. And keep following. I appreciate every last one of you.